Hey everyone, this is Tanya from You and Your Witchy Stuff. I do hope this finds you well. So I figured I would also start to try a new series for myself for my channel about my paranormal experiences and my experiences with spirits. And I'm going to try to call this my own personal hauntings throughout my life. Now these are all my personal experiences, my personal gnosis, and all of that. So what I'm saying is not exaggerated. It's true. It's what happened to me. I probably have on a consistent basis from the time I can remember as a very small child, maybe 2 or 3, all the way up until now that I'm 45, hundreds of experiences that are still ongoing of different things of the paranormal, spirit activity, journaling, yeah, okay, and the occult, and other things happened to me, things that were very scary, traumatic, caused me many fears, many things I did not understand, especially as a child. And as I grow older, I open up, I learn more, embrace my truth, heal, and just experience who I am and my gifts, and work with my guides and my deities that work and walk the path with me. And as I find my truth, and I work through the Witch's Black went through Pride, the Pride Challenge. Well, I chose Pride, should I say, as one of my 7 deadly sins on that. That's helped me to embody more of who I am as a woman, witch, and spiritual being, and to speak my truth and know I have something to offer. It's a constant struggle, a constant path working growth every day, and especially with the life and it being experiential. However, yeah, I'm here, and I'm going to start telling my stories before my camera dies, and before I start a new job tomorrow in a new journey and path. I do this while I have the chance and the opportunity. So with that being said, I'm just going to choose something random, and this one is called Alice. So Alice on that was a spirit we briefly encountered, meaning that we briefly did. I'm trying to remember because this was back in my first apartment. It was my cousin, who I'm older than, but we grew up together and we lived together as adults, and we worked together on a magical level and all of that. We have a great friendship and relationship. But we experienced it. I lived in this apartment, and it was me, him, and I do think, it was my roommate at the time. And that we're no longer friends, but that's irrelevant to the situation. We were best friends at that time. And so basically, one of the things is that apartment was highly haunted and highly electrically charged. And being very young practitioners and all having that young between adolescent and early 20s energy, and experiences, and the witch energy, the spark, and the occult, and all of us being together as witches, yeah, that probably amplified it tenfold. So yeah, so they loved to probably get us. So one of the spirits that we worked with, though, obviously the Ouija board and the witch board on it, they're not bad. I use them, I love them, I collect them, I live with them. So yeah, and I've been using them since my mid-teens, since I think I was 14, 15 years old. So yeah, 30 years of experience. Strange experiences and unexplainable and occult experiences, but yes, never deterred me, never has it. So with that being said, Alice was, one night we were deciding, as we have many nights back then, to use the spirit board, the Ouija board, traditional one, to use it. It was, I believe it was mine. Yes, I was the one that had the board. So it was my witch board, my Ouija board from Salem. Well, originally one of the ones created in Salem from the early 60s that was gifted by a family member that no longer wanted it in their house. And of course, my father never longer wanted his house. We're not going to get in about how he is. But that, basically, Alice was, one night we sat there fiddling around with the board and communicating, as we often did, for our advisement, or best for our advisement, and to gain knowledge, experience, truth, and day-to-day mundane things. And it's a bit different now, quite a bit different now, on how you learn and grow now as you experience and mature on your path. But back then, yeah. And basically, didn't throw much caution to the wind. So we were sitting there one night, as I mentioned, doing that, doing the work of the Ouija board and just talking, hanging out, chilling, the three of us. And again, I think I was about 20, I was about 20 years old. And my roommate was 21 and my cousin was a teenager. So yeah. So I know this might seem a bit rambly, but hey, why not? I am a bit rambly if you watch any of my previous videos. I believe in just being who you are. Or trying to be the best version of yourself. So that Alice, so we're sitting there and we're doing the board and everything was fine, hunky-dory, nothing major happening at that point, no other activity that normally happens in the apartment, or at least the common ones to my recollection. So basically we're sitting there and all of a sudden it got a different feeling in the air, like it often did, but a different disturbing feeling. And all of a sudden the board started acting, and the planchette and the board started acting very erratic and eerie and cryptic, which spirit activity is cryptic, but more than usual, let's say that. My sort of spiritual barometer was up. We all knew that there was a presence with us, something that was different that stepped in, that we have not felt before. So yes, her name was Alice. She started getting very menacing and threatening on that. And at this point we lived somewhere, in a town, and we used to walk often at night. Back then it was safe to do so there. Still may be now, but yeah, it was then there, in safety in numbers, of course. But yeah, so basically we normally walked, and she was the only one that drove and had a car at that point too. So Alice comes in and menacing and threatening and tells us that basically, don't go anywhere, don't do this, something bad's going to happen to you, blah, 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 threatening and menacing. And very ominous, and foreboding. So we basically, as it kept going, we were trying to get collected together, I guess, to get our grounding and our footing. But being young, we were not the best at that. That's still an ever-growing thing in my place, is staying grounded in my practice, yeah. If I stumble over my words, my brain's thinking faster than I am. So it was menacing. So we decided to leave. We dismissed it. We decided to leave, to try to get away from the energy, to clear ourselves out and refocus our mindset. Yeah. So if you watch any of my previous videos for a hot minute, you'll know that I am actually highly connected to spirits. I channel and I see them. My cousin the same. She kind of did. My roommate kind of did too. She's on a different level, but still, she did at the time to an extent, and has gifts. And so as we're walking down, because it told us, you can't leave, you can't drive, you can't do this, I'm going to block your way, harm will come to you, blah, blah, blah. We started walking, and yeah, we saw her. She actually fully showed up, and basically was a woman, probably I'd say in her 60s, I'd give or take, maybe, that, or at least her presence was of that, wearing like a muumuu type of style dress, and dark hair, and yeah, blackish eyes, and very clear spoken when she did speak on it, cryptic but clear spoken, and again, very threatening and menacing. And we're like, yeah, so we turned a different direction, and again, several blocks later, she showed up again. So yeah, so we kept trying to do different things. We went back, and to the apartment eventually, not after being out too long, after keep encountering it and going back and such. And I don't think we drove away or anything, but the experience still sticks with me to this day, and Alice still sticks with me, because what would have happened if we actually did go further than we did and roamed in the area? Or if we did drive away, could something happen? Could she, even though she was menacing and threatening, could she been warning of something else that could have been worse to come if we drove or escaped further? Maybe there was something. Maybe she didn't know how to communicate properly. Maybe it was her own fears kind of closing in a fog to our true perception. Or did she really want to harm us? I guess one will never know. I have never encountered her, thank goddess, but I've never encountered her, or to my knowledge, I know my cousin hasn't, and I believe she hasn't. I don't really communicate with her anymore, maybe my roommate, but Alice was one of those experiences, again, that sticks with me as a personal haunting. I believe there was more to it, but I do not or have any need to necessarily channel that or further analyze that. And of course, I want to thank you for bearing with me. I know this again is rambly and a little rough, but I figured, hell, why not give it a try? On there, I have many to share. Now, if this stuff does trigger you, well, it is what it is. The channel is called You and Your Witchy Stuff. I am a full-blown practitioner, and I've always been a witch my whole life, even before I knew that. So, and even before I fully understood and knew what my gifts were, I knew they were there. And then as I learned and grew, I knew that they were there. And my experiences in paranormal hauntings, as I call them, and other things, there's literally hundreds of them. I'm serious. This is my personal gnosis. Maybe I sound like a crazy lady driving the crazy train, perhaps, on that. But thanks for bearing with me, and please like, comment, and subscribe if you like any of my content, or if you have any questions. So yes, have a wonderful day.